Hi, I'm Dr. Sheri Kling, and I'm a theologian, spiritual teacher, singer-songwriter, composer, guitarist, and I'm interested mostly in wholeness and transformation and thinking about the sacred. And so I'm starting this podcast and YouTube channel as a way to explore those kinds of themes. What is the sacred for you? How do you respond to the sacred in your own life? Where do you find the sacred in your life? Is the sacred present in the world? Is everything in the world sacred? That's the way this is a double meaning of this term, the sacred everywhere, because it both points to the idea that everywhere is sacred and everything and everyone, and also to this idea of the sacred, this mystery, this flow of life that religious traditions for eons have called God or source or the mystery. And so I'm so interested in these topics. And what I'm hoping to do in this podcast and on this YouTube channel now is to invite people to be in conversation with me who are also interested in those same topics, who might look at uh, where is the sacred for them and in their work, and what challenges arise in us trying to see the sacred everywhere and in everything. We might ask questions like, can even our suffering be sacred? Where is the sacred for us today in painful and challenging events? And we might also sometimes just play with different philosophical and theological ideas of speculation. When we're talking about that mystery, we're always speculating, we're always using metaphors. And so I love to be in conversation with other people who can also dive into those topics. Now, I come from a Christian tradition, typically myself, although my own interests have expanded well beyond the bounds of that tradition. And I'm certainly not just interested in only speaking with people from a particular tradition or doctrinal framework, because I think spirituality goes so much deeper than that and is so much about so much more than just religious traditions. Uh, the sacred and our spirituality is really about our deepest wholeness. It's about how we connect to that source of dynamism and vitality and creativity that flows under the experience of human life and all of life in this embodied world we find ourselves in, and the challenges that this world we are in brings with it. And so these are the kinds of things that I hope to be exploring over the next weeks and months. And so I invite you to join me on this journey. Be in conversation with me through this podcast, through this YouTube channel. What I'm planning to do is to have conversations where the first half of our conversation will be spread out far and wide on podcasts and YouTube, but then the deeper dive conversations with my guests will be available to paid subscribers of my Substack, which is sherikling.substack.com. And that is also called The Sacred Everywhere. So I look forward to sharing these topics with you going forward and to having you join me in this conversation and in this journey. Thank you very much.